have some public. Do you, Garvin, do you have a sign-in sheet?
No, but we'll make one.
Okay. Because you do have to have a sign-in sheet for all the public.
Okay.
Amy, thank you.
Good afternoon. I assume we do the regular process,
Yes.
the pledge and everything?
Yep.
Okay. It's Tuesday, April 1st, regular meeting of the commissioners and the first public hearing on Community Development Block Grant and Community Housing Impact Preservation Program, the CHIP program. Let's start with a pledge to the flag. I
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Commissioner Riddell,
Here.
Commissioner Moore, Commissioner Gallagher,
Here.
we have a quorum. Today is the first hearing on CHIP and CDBG, and Garvin Carrington Matthews will present.
The podium is yours, Garvin.
Thank you. Good afternoon, commissioners.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
On behalf of the Community Development Department, we are doing our first public hearing on the CDBG program for fiscal program years 2025, which runs from 26 into 27. Okay. I assume everyone can hear me. All right, so the first item on the agenda is the state notice that was sent out and published February 26th that notified Ohioans of funding that's available for this program year, which again runs as program year 2025. The actual activity will be in 26 and 27. Okay. Community Housing Impact Preservation, which is commonly known as our CHIP program. Statewide, there's $24 million available. Housing and Development Assistance Program, $15 million. Homeless Crisis Response Grant Program, $6.2 million. Housing Opportunities for Persons with AIDS, $3 million. Community Development Program, otherwise known as CDBG. That program has $23.3 million available to the state. Economic Development and Public Infrastructure, $10 million. The Flexible Grant Program, $2 million. Training and Technical Assistance, $300,000. Item number 2 is the Lorain County eligibility. Now, Lorain County is eligible for funds from these various grants as stated in Section 1. Please note that the numbers I discuss here on out are just approximate numbers. It has not been finalized by the state yet. So the program year for community development programs administered by the state of Ohio. First, A, community development allocation funding. Each project must meet one of the national objectives. A, benefit LMI persons, low to moderate income persons, which is at 80% of median income. B, aid in the elimination of slum and blight. Programs must meet the LMI criterion by one of the following. A, having a project in a census area that is over 51% LMI households. There are very few of these areas within our county. Okay. Having a project in a neighborhood that is surveyed door to door. So if there is not a census tract available, and we would like to do a project in a particular neighborhood, we would then need to go out and conduct a door-to-door survey to determine if there are enough residents within a defined area that meet the 51% threshold. Okay. Having a project in a neighborhood that is surveyed door to door and surveying documents over the 51% threshold, as I just stated. The projects are exclusively to the benefit of one of several types of beneficiaries known as limited clientele. These sets include abused children, elderly persons, battered spouses, homeless persons, adults that are severely disabled, illiterate adults, persons living with AIDS, and migrant farm workers. Programs commonly provide services and facilities for the elderly and include projects undertaken to accommodate the disabled. 2, state objectives. Improved housing for LMI individuals, construction and improvement of public facilities and infrastructure in communities with LMI concentration. Create and retain permanent private sector job opportunities, principally for persons of LMI, as well as through the expansion and retention of business and industry, assisting communities in alleviating threats to public health or welfare requiring immediate resolution, assist in the revitalization of central business districts, assist communities in their compliance with federal laws to affirmatively further fair housing, and to assist in the development of local microenterprise businesses. 3, funding for the program year 2025. It is estimated that Lorain County will receive $648,000. Of that number, $150,000 is designated for projects in North Ridgeville. Okay. So the rest of our consortium, the partners that we engage with, which are the cities of Oberlin, Amherst, and Sheffield Lake, along with the other communities, have the remaining $498,000. Some of these other project categories, Lorain County does not currently apply to. They are the HDAP, Homeless Crisis Response, the HOPWA program. So that's 3 of the next set we don't currently have programs in. We, however, do on the biennial basis the CHIP program. Funding for the CHIP program is expected to be finalized in the next couple of weeks. Under the current CHIP program, the state of Ohio is encouraging cities and counties to partner on CHIP applications. Lorain County is eligible for up to $300,000 of 2025 CHIP program funding. Lorain, in conjunction with its partner cities of Amherst, Sheffield Lake, North Ridgeville, and Oberlin, in PY25, will apply for CHIP funds. Together, the 4 jurisdictions are eligible for up to $1.2 million. CHIP eligible activities include financing residential rehabilitation or repairs for low and moderate income homeowners, rehab and repair loans for rental properties where tenants are low to moderate income, homeownership assistance, including financial support for new construction in partnership with Habitat for Humanity, and tenant rental assistance. CHIP is a cooperative grant program. Not all applications or applicants will receive funds. Application timing for this program: reports or applications are due by 11:59 a.m. on June 25th of 2025. The grant is expected to be awarded on September 1st, 2025. Section F, the Neighborhood Revitalization Program. Eligible activities under this program include public facility improvements, such as constructing, reconstructing, and/or rehabilitating infrastructure in targeted areas of distress that do not fit within the criteria of other state CDBG competitive programs. At a minimum, Neighborhood Revitalization Program applications must include 3 activities, exclusive of administration. Demolition and clearance activities are capped at $100,000 or 25% of the project request, exclusive of administration. Projects are up to $750,000. Critical infrastructure. The county is eligible to apply for up to 3 grants of $500,000. The county is eligible to apply and must apply on behalf of villages and townships within the county. The county may apply on behalf of non-entitlement communities. So everyone outside of Lorain and Elyria, which are our 2 entitlement communities within the county. Critical Infrastructure Program was created to assist communities with funding for high priority, single component projects such as roads, flood and drainage, and other public facilities projects with high community-wide impact and that benefit primarily residential areas. Eligible activities include constructing, reconstructing, or rehabilitating infrastructure components. Eligible infrastructure components include streets and bridges, sidewalks, flood and drainage, water and sanitary sewer, and fire protection facilities. Applicants must submit a map of the proposed service area indicating the proposed infrastructure project's boundaries and location. Applicants are expected to explain how the proposed infrastructure project explain how the service area and project boundaries were determined. Communities will be required to complete an infrastructure condition certification to catalog the targeted infrastructure's existing condition and the degree to which the proposed critical infrastructure program will improve the identified conditions. Communities must qualify activities under the HUD, Ohio State-administered CDBG program national objectives of low and moderate income, area-wide benefit, or the prevention or elimination of slum or blight. The application timing for this, round 1 is due June 11th, 2025. Round 2, it's based on funding availability. H, Economic Development and Residential Public Infrastructure Grant Program. Total funds, approximately $10 million in CDBG funds will be made available. The county is eligible to apply on behalf of the villages and townships for the ED program. The county or villages themselves may apply for the RPIG program. That's the Residential Public Infrastructure Grant Program. Economic development, to create and retain permanent private sector job opportunities, principally for people of LMI definition, through expanding and retaining business and industry in Ohio's communities. At least 51% of the jobs created and or retained must be taken by or made available to LMI persons, as defined by the CDBG program. Job creation attributable to the CDBG supported project must take place within 24 months of the work completion date as specified in the grant agreement. Awards are up to $500,000 based on the amounts of jobs created or retained. Residential public infrastructure. to create a safe and sanitary living environment for Ohio's citizens and providing clean and reliable drinking water and proper sanitary waste disposal. Activities include water or sanitary sewer projects that provide service to primarily residential users, minimum 60% of total users, and on-site residential improvements that are part of a larger water or sanitary sewer project, including service laterals, septic tanks, and well abandonment, and CDBG eligible related fees. Awards are up to $750,000. The submission deadline, it is continuous, starts on July 1st. The Flexible Grant Program. The county is eligible to apply for up to an amount to be determined. It is designed to provide a means to fund worthwhile targets of opportunity projects and activities that do not fit within existing program structures and to provide supplemental resources to resolve immediate and unforeseen needs. The application timing for this is ongoing and starts July 1st. Downtown Program. Subset of the Flexible Grant Program, maximum award amount to be determined at the time of application. Activities include private rehabilitation activities only, including structural rehabilitation, facade improvements, interior and exterior building code violation corrections, historic preservation, direct administrative costs, and architectural and engineering work related to specific revitalization activities. J. New Horizons Fair Housing Assistance. The county is eligible to apply for up to $15,000 a loan and with an additional $5,000 per jurisdiction in the consortium, up to a maximum of $30,000. The program offers funds for communities to affirmatively further fair housing and eliminate impediments to fair housing, actions to remedy or mitigate conditions limiting fair housing choice. Proposed activities should exceed standard fair housing requirements. The application timing for this is ongoing, periods July 1 through March 31st. A third is awarded in each 3-month cycle. Finally, the second public hearing will be May 13th at 3:30 p.m. I turn it back to you for any questions or comments.
What do you intend to do? What is your sweet spot for this, Garvin? What projects have we historically been successful with that we want to continue?
Well, I think that answer is twofold. Okay, so I'll bifurcate those. One will be projects that we've done with our local communities. For instance, in the coming weeks, we'll be starting street paving in North Ridgeville. There are 3 streets that we'll be paving along with the sidewalks and various cut-ins. Or the Alameda project, which you recently approved, that was phase 2 of a sewer line project in Sheffield Lake. So that is one of what I would define as the sweet spots for us in working directly with the local communities to determine projects within the specified areas in their communities that meet the requirements, where we can come in, provide some dollars to make those improvements. The second area, I would say, would be in our private homeowner rehabilitation and repair programs, the CHIP program and CHIP home program repairs, where each grant cycle we assist the LMI homeowners with repairs or major rehabilitations within their home. So it could be things from redoing roofs, siding, replacing a water heater, furnace, air conditioning, electrical rewiring. Okay? So those are all programs that we have done for years, that I see us continuing. There are other programs that we need to do some work in revitalizing, if you will. For instance, the NSP 3 program, the Neighborhood Stabilization Program. We have not done anything in that program for some time, and that's primarily because of the cost to build houses now or rehab houses to sell. But that program is designed to eliminate slum or blight and to improve the housing stock. One of the difficulties with that program is that we cannot have program income come from that sale. We have to sell it for cost or less. Okay? So it makes it hard when you have these varying forces, market forces in terms of the cost of doing the rehabilitation, and then also the inability to earn some money from it to turn it around and do more. But that, I would say, is one of the programs that we'll be looking into further because it has become more difficult, obviously, for certain segments of the population to find housing, live the American dream, own that home with the white picket fence. So that's something that we will be looking towards trying to see if we can revive.
And did I hear you correctly? Lorain and Elyria have their own process and programs, so what we're doing is for everybody outside of Lorain and Elyria?
That is correct. Under the CDBG programs, which is what this funding
Yes.
directs. Lorain and Elyria get funding directly from HUD, Housing and Urban Development. We get HUD funding through the state, through ODOD,
Okay.
until we become an entitlement. And we are very close to being an entitlement. And if we become an entitlement, under prior years' calculations, of course, moving forward, we're not quite sure how that would land, but we would get more money than we do now.
Questions, Commissioner?
You went through a lot of stuff really quick there. Are you able to give us an outline of what you read for the Lorain County eligibility? I would love to have that if that's possible.
Certainly. You would like some more details on each
Just
program?
what you read off there, all
Okay.
the breakdowns of it.
Yes.
I think that would be a great help so that we can help, or I can help, push people into these buckets of money where it's needed. It'd be great to do.
Yes, certainly. And we certainly do appreciate your efforts in that regard. Just as a bit of additional information, with our department's reorganization, we will be furthering that effort. The economic development area within our department has been divided up, where each ED specialist has a certain number of communities that they are going to be very closely in touch with, and they will be sort of like the boots on the ground to inform these communities of the existence of these programs, looking at what they are dreaming of doing, and then coming back to us and saying, okay, what do we have that we can apply for? And we'll be making affirmative steps in that regard.
So another question I have. So I see all these buckets of money, and I'm hearing that you have buckets of monies that we're entitled to. Out of those entitlements that we are able to apply for, I would love to see what comparison to last year, what we were able to receive versus what we were able to receive. Did we max out every one of these grants, community development grants? or did we leave some on the table? And that would be something I would love to know, because that's I'm looking for where we need the help. So I'm sure we haven't been able to max them all out, but I would like to know that if that's possible.
All right, so I think if I hear you correctly, you're looking to see if we are maxing out our awards, or are you saying the county was eligible for X number and through our grants, we've only applied for less than the eligible?
Pretty much the same. For example, we have $1.2 million in CHIP overall. Did we get 1.2 million? If that's what we were allowed to get in 2023, 24, is that what we were allowed to get, or did we max that out? So did we get 1.2 million, or are we under that dollar number? I'm sure they're not going to give you over, except I did hear you say in a couple of them, it's there's possibility we could go back to the table there and get more than what we should be getting. If I'm not correct there too.
Okay.
You know,
Well,
if somebody doesn't use it, some other county doesn't use the grant money, is what
Okay.
I'm saying.
In CHIP and CHIP Home, when the state claws back money, that's a little bit different, and we won't necessarily have those funds in the program year. Exactly how the
Yep.
state determines how they spend that money, it's really up to them, because they make the rules for us. Okay. With regard to funds beyond the CHIP and CDBG allocation, we can, if our communities and nonprofit partners come up with projects, apply for those funds, which are funds beyond what's mentioned under Section E, the CHIP program, as well as A, the Community Development Allocation. So that $648,000 that I mentioned earlier, that's the allocation within the Community Development Block Grant Program. That's an amount that they're guaranteeing you will receive.
Okay.
Okay, so it's called an allocation. With the CHIP and CHIP Home programs, those are competitive programs where you're going to demonstrate a need, and they tell you that you're eligible for up to a certain number,
Okay.
right? So it's really up to us, the commissioners, to have programs that will utilize that and maximize what we're eligible for.
Correct. That's what I'm looking for.
Yes.
I have no more questions.
Thank you, Garvin.
Thank you, Gary.
Sure. You're welcome.
Our public. Amy, I guess that's you. I'm good. I'll teach her to come to meetings like that.
Put her on the hot seat.
Okay, I have a motion to close the hearing.
I'll second that.
Discussion. Commissioner Riddell?
Aye.
Commissioner Gallagher?
Aye.
Meeting is adjourned.